Yeah, Shane.
We've got more.
Have a seat.
I am not sleeping tonight.
I've got one more.
Welcome back.
To the Peak Collective podcast.
Well, you're a very interesting guy, hence why we got you on the podcast.
Thank you.
What I want to do is our last part,
Part three.
part three of our interview, just purely because of time. I want to try and get as many questions out of you as I can.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is some quick fire
It's
questions.
very difficult for me because I like to give
I know.
detailed answers.
But
But-
people want to know.
We would
Yeah,
love to.
but so guys,
'cause-
please don't feel, just feel free to interrupt me because I know as a podcasters you have to be able to listen and allow a person to speak. But yeah,
we would love to
Just
obviously
interrupt.
talk for
Yeah.
hours, and we probably will
We always do.
yeah.
You're traveling to India soon as well, so that'd be great when you come back, or even just on Zoom or something while you're out there. Get like a really good interview.
Oh yeah, we can do like an online podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But-
you heard it here. That's a preview.
Yeah.
But what I want to try and do is just get some quick fire
Quick
questions, because a lot of people
Okay.
in the gym that want to know stuff and stuff that we probably don't even know.
And some new people might find out.
So-
who we are.
Okay.
Going back to travel, so you've travelled countless different countries. Which country would you say gave you the biggest lesson that you've learned at your age now, so far?
I would say two. Sorry. One was Cambodia. So I was in a situation where I had no work. I had like 3 weeks left of rent. I did my first dry fast to save money because I wanted to save money just for 3 days. I had like whatever, 10, 15 euro. And I was completely broke. I don't want to tell the whole story how I made it.
Yeah.
But basically after this dry fast, weird miracles started to happen. Like synchronicities. I got money back. I got a call with work from Vietnam and so on. So it's a...
That was like a life lesson. That opened up new opportunities, right?
Because after this dry fast, after going through this very powerful experience, I think something opened up for me.
Yeah.
And then I attracted law of attraction, whatever you call it, I attracted something, some
that
opportunities.
positivity.
Yeah.
Number
Second
two.
country?
Yeah, number 2, thank you. I think the most powerful in terms of my spiritual growth, and what I say by this, it's a long time by myself in Costa Rica. I was looking after shelter. I spent it there altogether 2 months, but there was period, I think, of a week or 10 days where I was completely by myself and there was no mobile data. I had to walk like 10 minutes uphill to get some signal on the phone. So in the shelter there was it was so dense, trees and everything, jungle, that there was no mobile connection. There was some electricity from solar panel to charge the phone, but not enough to use any electric things. So basically phone was charging like 5 times longer because it was so bad. I was just not seeing, and there was period, and from time to time I had human beings, but there was period when I was looking after it during rainy season, when there was like no people, no tourists coming in, there was like super rain. So in Costa Rica, people that were visiting tropical countries might be aware, when it's like raining for 12 hours, rivers can go up even up to 2 meters. So whereas normally it's like this depth, you had to cross to this shelter like 5 rivers basically.
Yeah.
But they can go up 1.5 meter because there is like rain for 12 hours non-stop, like hardcore rain, not like rain like this. But sometimes you can get like proper rain here. So basically for 3 days I was completely isolated because no one could even come to me because, you cannot cross the river basically and you cannot go with helicopter or whatever.
So you were completely by your own.
Yeah. I was completely by my own.
Yeah.
And I was also having no distractions, so no book, no whatever, no phone. I was really connecting with nature, exactly. And I was meditating a lot during that time and spending a lot of time just sitting down and being present in nature. And
That's the two.
I mean, I would just quickly say these 2 sentences. There was a moment where I was like listening to these insects 24/7 and just not seeing human being for a few days and just being present in such a deep, dense, light dense place. There was a moment where I just bended on my knees. I looked up and I started to cry because I experienced something so deep and so beautiful and so profound that I couldn't explain. And after this experience, I knew that, because there was a period where I was like going far from my friends, my family and everyone, and I was going more into this like spiritual monk lifestyle, living in the cave. That was at that point, this is how I wanted to live. I wanted to lead this path of like being a yogi, being a monk, living in the cave and so on. But that time when I just cried and I just realized how much I miss human beings and that I need to come back and try again, repair my relationship with my parents and reconnect with some friends that I haven't seen for like 5-6 years. And yeah, it had such a profound impact on me that it changed me the way I am as a human being. And I think it was like one thing, it was isolation from people, not seeing any human being for a few days, not distracting myself, with like other things, but just being present into these sounds of nature. And I don't know how to explain it, but listening to these insects all the time, the frequencies that the insects were creating, I felt like, even though I didn't understand the language, let's say you have a person that speaks other language, they are talking to you, you cannot get even a word, yeah? So when I was listening to these insects, I felt they are talking to me in a language that I don't understand, but my brain is still picking up the frequencies of their noises. And I think these noises, listening to them in such a long and huge quantity, made me have experiences that I couldn't explain, and they deeply, deeply changed me. And after this time, I started to see life a bit differently. I started,
today, right?
yeah, oh, definitely. Yeah. I become like more grateful. I started to work on, relationship with people and how I see life, how I appreciate life. And yeah, for sure, that was my biggest spiritual experience that transformed me, the way I see life and the way I appreciate life. So
It's beautiful.
yeah, I was just bending on my knees, looking up and crying, and and realizing like that life is the most beautiful gift that we have.
Yeah.
So,
I've actually got a tattoo on me that says "Life is beautiful."
yeah,
If you didn't know that,
synchronicity, bro. Synchronicity.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so yeah, I'm ready for next question.
So, for the people that do know you, or the people that know you from the last 2 episodes now, they might be new to it. We know you very well in the gym, how you train. Why do you train the way you do? Because it's not normal. It's not a bodybuilding split. It's not athleticism. It's not really CrossFit. It is
everything.
Very niche.
So I would call it like formless way of training.
Yeah.
Which like is a bit inspired by saying that got popular by Bruce Lee. Be like water, You put water into the cup, it becomes a cup. You put the water into teapot, it becomes a teapot. So for me, the way how he was playing with martial arts, and like trying to learn from all of them and playing with them, I think I feel drawn into studying different forms of training and play with my intuition and explore them and explore basically potential of this human body and see how wide I can explore it and how wide I can challenge it. So
your range of skills.
Yeah, I would say it's like MTA, mixed training arts.
Mixed training arts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Formless way of
The
training.
things you do are insane.
We'll try to add some tips into it as well.
Yeah.
The
But
things you
also,
can
like,
do.
thank you for saying that, but I also think, like, anything I do, you will find person that can do that. I think
It's rare though.
I mean, yeah, in some ways, but there is nothing I do that there is no other human being that can do
Yeah,
that.
and that is also to your trained travelling eye. To people like Luca and myself in a normal gym, athleticism background, I've never seen someone do the things you do.
Okay.
So you're
If I
one
go
of the
on,
lifetime.
if I go on
right?
Instagram,
Okay.
I showed you that guy Bill Maidi the other day.
Yeah,
He does
yeah.
some of that
He does
stuff.
a lot
Yeah.
of similar stuff.
But again,
Yeah.
like the
That's
stuff
not
that these people
personal
do
as well,
is very rare.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think some people at some point, it's different when you are competing. It's different when you have goal, because you have to be committed
Yeah.
to one form of art. But if you,
Obviously, you don't care about,
Yeah.
like, as you said before,
Yeah.
in person at the gym, like, you don't really care about getting massive.
yeah,
You don't care so much about physique in terms of, things like that.
Yeah.
Or like even how strong you can get like a 500-pound deadlift. For you,
Yeah.
it's more just training.
How
exploring.
you feel when you train,
Yeah.
right? You want to
Yeah.
feel every single fibre.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, I'm no
like
scientist, but you have unlocked different brain cells that we probably
Yeah.
never will.
never
The
say
way you
never.
train, the way
but,
no, never say
yeah,
never.
But
What's
even
it
like
called when a powerlifter, like when a mum saves the baby from a car. That's what I always think.
It's the
of.
fight or flight
Yeah.
response, right?
Yeah. Where like, you seem to have a way now through meditation or however
Yeah.
else where you can tap into that.
You have that
Yeah.
fight
where,
response.
Okay.
I might be scared to lift up a barbell one hand snatch, for example.
Yeah.
That in that moment of panic, I will just drop it.
Okay.
Whereas you don't have
You
that.
take
panic.
yourself
You kind
to
of
the
trained your
place.
brain
It's
to
like,
that point now.
You know,
Yeah,
Eddie Hall,
so
Where
the strongman.
yeah,
You
I don't
did
know
the
him well.
500.
I don't know him.
No one does.
Yeah,
But you know
but
when
I
he did the
saw.
500 kilo.
I didn't see that video, but I think Peter from the gym told me that
Yes.
he was using
Yeah, so
hypnosis.
he was thinking
Yeah.
of really deep thoughts.
Yeah.
That this car
He has
was
to
going to
save
hurt his
someone.
family and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah, yeah.
yes. And he picked up the weight because he got that fight response.
Thank you for saying that. This is what sometimes, maybe if you see me on the treadmill going with 25 kilo back, after 15 minutes I have enough. 15.
Yeah.
But sometimes when I am like so tired, I'm just thinking I'm carrying a child and there are fucking angry people
Yeah.
trying to eat me.
Trying to get
And then I can get
That's
like
that
double
fight
time.
response,
I got
yeah.
Yeah. So it's like
Yeah.
you basically use visualization and you use your brain to work it for
Yeah.
you, and everyone can do that, but this takes years.
Yeah,
Because
that's
also
right.
this like lightweight thing. If you say lightweight, every single training for like 5 years, you basically your brain is programmed.
Already told us
And
that.
I said to
yeah,
every client.
yeah.
That
And
way.
every time you
Everybody
lift
says
it,
the
like
lightweight.
subconscious
Yeah.
brain helps you because subconsciously it's like lightweight.
told lightweight.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like say for
So
example.
you brainwash yourself consciously
Yeah.
to make your brain and your subconscious work for you.
You can see it just in everyday training. Like you guys have probably done it before. I've accidentally put on an extra bit of weight that I wasn't supposed to.
Yeah.
Accidentally hit a PB that I didn't know was a
Yeah.
PB.
Yeah.
And
Because
I look
you
at the
didn't
weight,
think about that.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I've never hit that before.
When you stop thinking
and then
about
I've done it before where I know the weight. I'm like, okay, it's
Yeah.
a PB. I get myself psyched up, and then I fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually done it.
That's why
with a
I
client.
started to do
Before
meditation.
the
Yeah.
client as well. Accidental at 30 kg on top of his deadlift. I was
Yeah, I've
like,
like added
Oh.
on the wrong weights because mentally I just haven't clocked it, and they've repped it, and I'm like, wait, how have you done that?
yeah, literally the same.
And then they're like,
And
oh,
then-
it felt easy,
yeah, and
and
then I
then
did
you're
a
like, it's
second,
like five,
I did a
and then
second
five.
set with him.
Yeah.
Same weight, but now he knew the weight.
and it's really
Literally
strong.
didn't get one.
Yeah. Yeah, this is great to do such experimentation because then you realize how much of like your training is just your thoughts telling you whether you can or not.
Yeah.
And for me, training is always about exploring how much I can bend. Like my brain tells me like, oh, you can only do 30 minutes of treadmill with 25 kilo on your neck. And I am like, all right, after like 30 minutes, I am like, I don't want to do it. But I know if I push 5 minutes more, my brain will
You've got
start
more
to
than your
release
brain told you.
endorphins and adrenaline because I will break the limits that my brain put on me,
That's already told
and then I will enter survival,
Yeah.
what I call survival mode. And then my brain will start to release. And sometimes you see me, like my eyes are popping up and I am like just
Literally
going there
fine.
like a zombie, And I know that it
I've got
will
to save
happen.
you a
Yeah.
few times.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to.
Okay, let's get back to that.
Obviously, we've spoken about spirituality. We've spoken about things like that. Would you say you're a religious man, or because obviously I would class myself. I'm like a spiritual journey right now, right? Raised Catholic. I do believe in a God, but I don't no longer say that I'm a religion. I'm explored, probably similar to you, like especially during lockdown. I explored Buddhism. I've explored some meditation techniques and things like that. I was saying to you earlier, I actually used to listen to that when I used to meditate during lockdown. So I would just at the moment say that I'm still on that journey of trying to find out what I want to go. But would you say you're on the same path, or would you say you've kind of found,
I mean,
if that makes sense?
yeah, it makes sense. I mean, for me, it's something that cannot be put into terms of like label, because my perspective on the religion is like all the religions and the people that were, you know, people that started religions, or the people that were inspiration to start religions, they were all able to connect with source of creation. I would prefer to use the word source of creation rather than a God, because when you say the word God, people think about religious God. How people are seeing God in the, you know, depending on the religion, you say word God, and people think about, oh, it is God. Yeah. And when you say source of creation, is basically something that, you know, like a source of creation. So everything in existence, it's like a creation,
was all created
and it's coming from one source.
Together, yeah.
So how I see that is like all these like people, prophets, like holy people, you know, they were able to tap, whether through fasting or whether through meditation or spending time a lot. In every like textbooks, you will find some information that they were going through, like, you know, fasting, they were going through self-isolation, spending time alone, you know, meditating, praying, and so on. There are different ways, different tools. They were able to tap into this source of creation and find something that is beyond physical, dimension that is beyond physical, that help them to get a deeper clarity on the physical reality. And then by having that experience, they were sharing it with other people, but other people that were never able to tap into this like source, you know, into this experience that is non-physical. They were interpreting it in their own way, you know. So all the people that were writing religious books that weren't able to tap into this source of creation, they were using their brain and their imaginations, their informations that they gather through their life, into writing that. So I think like all the religious, you know, all these people that were inspiration to create religious, they were all connected with the same source, but because they were coming from different times, with different lands, different culture, different timelines, you know, like different ages, you know, people were interpreting there to the environment they were living in. And over the periods of times, you know, it evolved into like different forms of religion.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's the answer for your question, but I would say like everyone that, you know, and also I think it's important to say, I think like both, there are people that believe God exists and there are people that believe God doesn't exist, you know, because you cannot prove that the God exists and you cannot prove that God does not exist in that sense, you know. Of course, there are like some scientists that are proving that there is intelligence, you know, outside of the physical universe.
Story, debunk it by proof.
Exactly. But I think like believing that God exists, or, you know, disbelieving that, or believing that God doesn't exist, will not give you your own experience closer to the truth. So I think this is like spirituality, it's subject that shouldn't be told people to believe, but it should be like a shared to inspire people to dig deeper into self-exploration, where religion can be wonderful, you know, and it can help a lot of people become more aware, more, you know, mindful human being. We see also every religion is also corrupted, you know, and there are people that were using religion to gain power, you know. So I think we should have the lenses to see like both positive and negative. And, you know, I am open to listen to people from all religions and listen to what they want to, you know, hear what they want to say. But at the same time, I don't feel to follow any religion, because I don't feel like, oh, there is one right religion, you know. I don't believe that this religion chose the right God, but all the religion is like my God is the true one, but from your religion it's not, you know. So for me was this like mind opening, like I was really into philosophy when I was 20, you know, and I was just asking myself question, why? Because I was also raised as a, you know, Catholic like you, yeah, and I am asking myself, I believe that my God is the only one, but there are people that believe their God is only one. So I am like, how can I know that I know the truth? You know, it's only something that I believe because someone programmed me to believe, but it's not my own experience.
It's your own perspective, right?
Yeah, so from that point I started to go into like...
I personally feel like anything that you want to learn or believe or anything, you should always do your own research anyway and explore. Be it whatever, but like, relate it back to fitness and health.
And try things, yeah.
So many people, like, I don't know, I tell them, someone tells them to do, oh, have you heard of the 5-2 diet of eating for 5 days and not eating for 2 days, right? And it's like, oh yeah, let me just try that and jump on the bandwagon.
Research why, do the background story behind it.
Like, find out what is fact, what is fiction, and what... I'm a big person of being open to interpretation anyway, so for me personally, I don't disbelieve in something unless it's actually proving false either, right? So I believe in aliens, I believe in ghosts, I believe in a lot of other things out there purely because it hasn't been proven as false. And probably similar to you, I've gone through too many experiences with both things where I'm like...
It's too coincidental, right?
Yeah, it could be true, right?
Yeah.
And the biggest one for me, and you always say this at the gym all the time about people's energy, it's massive.
You say it to me all the time. Every time you're down, I'm like, what's up? You're like, wow.
Yeah.
That's why...
Yeah, you can literally like just share with someone, especially when you know someone. It's so much easier to pick up their energy.
100%. Walk into a room. Instantly you can tell if there's negative energy. You can tell if there's just been an argument. And for me...
basically you can enter the room. And even if people don't say anything, you can just sense whether they were just arguing.
Or talking about you.
Yeah.
You can literally sense when someone's looking at you. You're in the gym, and you know someone's looking at you. You can literally turn around and be like,
I said it so often when I was playing on the treadmill. You know? And it's so funny because like...
Is he safe right now?
Unfortunately, it's all of us going... He might need a defibrillator or something close.
Once 2 years has passed, no injuries.
So for me, that's why I'd always say I'm always going to be spiritual in every sense of manner, because I do believe there is some sort of energy. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Donnie Darko.
I haven't.
A very strange reference.
I've heard about
but basically, they're on this like line, right? And your destiny is always going to be your destiny, no matter how you change it. And there's like energies in your room that are basically going like that. And I don't know, it's just something that I've always believed in that. Like you see these people when they write like a movie script about, I don't know, aliens and zombies. And it's exactly the same story that someone in Egypt has written. And they've actually shown this theory. I can't remember what the theory is called now.
It was same with with like creating the plane that they were, and also like creating the belt, the light belt.
But there's an energy that apparently dissipates.
That ideas are coming from
you get the same energy.
So it's basically that ideas are not coming from your brain, but
it's an energy pulse, right?
Your brain has like how you call them, like receptors that are picking up.
And let's go to let's go to religion again with that. Was if you look at it when people said like, oh, God told me, or my spirit told me, whatever else, whatever religion it is, you can kind of get that right with energy.
They've had that receptor.
And I think, when people say these things, I am absolutely like sure that they can be real, because the power of their thought and intention made them real for them. But just because they believed, and they will tell, like, if someone else will believe, it doesn't mean that someone will create their reality for them. Exactly.
Have you got any other questions you want to put?
So
also we have like training questions. I'm getting better of like keeping the track with
so I was
probably got like 5 minutes.
Okay.
So I was going to go quick fire. If you had 3 words to sum up you, experience, your knowledge, who you are, what are your most 3 powerful words you could tell to myself and Luca, to people listening, that kind of it's everything to do with you.
Okay.
Yeah, just 3 words that hit you powerful.
What's your journey?
Okay, I would say
to be where you are now.
Please invest time
Just 3 words.
Oh, no,
3
sorry.
words. No, 3 words.
Let's see what he's gonna say.
Please invest time in yourself of nourishing relationship with yourself. So invest time into hanging out with yourself. I think that's the most important, of like creating the relationship of feeling comfortable by being by yourself without other people, because most people are not capable even to survive one day without any stimulation, you know.
Yeah.
Like one day in your room without any like computer, book, nothing, just sitting down in your room. Like most people are not capable of like sitting for one day by themselves, you know. So I would say like, yeah, even spend like 30 minutes a week of like sitting down and paying attention to your breath, paying attention to the pain in your body, to your muscle, to the soreness, you know, paying attention how your body breathes, how your body moves, where is the tension, tightness, and 30 minutes a week. This is like a good starting point.
Yeah.
So I think that's
good.
Most
I think
powerful.
the last thing to ask him is the question we've been asking everyone, and very quick, is 3 favourite and
Ah, yeah,
3
yeah, I
least
know.
favourite
Okay.
exercises.
Favourite exercise, least favourite.
I was prepared for that because you asked me, so I am like, I was spending 3 hours of like thinking how to answer that question.
So, 3 favourites. Number 1.
I will tell right now because it always changes,
Right.
but I would say overhead squat with hanging weights on the resistance band on the Bosu ball.
Overhead earthquake squats. If people don't know what
Overhead.
the name, yeah.
Yeah.
It's called an earthquake squat.
Yeah. Really?
Earthquake.
Yeah.
I
Shannon's
didn't
been
know.
doing it.
Okay, yeah, on the Bosu
Overhead,
ball. Yeah.
overhead
Uh,
earthquake squat on a
On a
bicycle.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's just very like
Yeah,
my
no.
brain goes somewhere else. I'm so focused. Every
Yeah.
second becomes like
You
2
have to,
seconds.
yeah.
Yeah.
Seconds.
Fixing tips.
3, 2, 1.
I don't know, like treadmill, but with like fun treadmill, like doing treadmill and
Snatch
just
grip, overhead, walking, backwards.
yeah.
Try and put a clip up there.
Wow, it's hard to say. Phew.
Yeah, you're trying
Alright,
to
let's say weighted treadmill walking.
Yeah, weighted treadmill walking backwards with like weight.
Snatch grip overhead. Yeah.
Okay.
Number
3rd favourite at the moment.
At the moment, actually, I was lately enjoying just the basic like incline dumbbell press, but I think like from next week I'm going back into dips. I had phase where I wanted for like 3 months because I never trained this part of my body.
Yeah.
And when I got the form right, I'm like, wow, that feels amazing, you know, like just 3 reps, you know, I do 3 to 5 reps and I feel like, oh.
What's funny is that was my favourite.
Yeah,
flavor.
I've heard of the podcast. I remember you saying.
I'm
Incline
so
press.
outnumbered.
That's going to be the.
Can we get
that's
across
gonna be
Okay,
the-
I would say I don't have any exercise that I don't dislike, but I would say the most painful and brutal one.
Yeah.
So negative. I'm training 1-arm pull-up training, so just doing negative 1-arm
Negative.
pull-ups.
I saw you doing that.
Oh,
That's
bro,
disgusting.
so it's like you have to really mentally like every half of a second. It's like squeeze. Another thing, it's Nordic curls with assisted
Nordic
ones
curls.
because negatives are also so intense.
So is that your number 2?
Yeah. And number 3, another one that is actually very disgusting when it comes to pain. Leg extension with blood flow restriction bands.
Yeah.
When you go for like 30-40 reps, you put blood flow restriction bands. Yeah, bro, like after 30 reps, like once you have blood flow restriction bands, your pump is so huge that your skin becomes so tight. But at the same time, it's like wonderful feeling. It's like horrible and wonderful.
So
but
blood flow restricted leg extensions.
Yeah. And you need to get at least like 20 reps.
Yeah.
At least 20.
And that's the wrap. Rob.
Rob, it's been a pleasure.
Thank
Love
you very
to
much,
get you
man.
on.